This story begins with Priest Vallon handing a blade to his young son, Amsterdam Vallon. Priest Vallon makes a cut on his face with that same blade and then gives it to Amsterdam. When Amsterdam tries to clean it, his father stops him and says that the blood will stay on the blade and one day he will understand why. Vallon then takes back the blade. The grown-up Amsterdam says he remembers half of these moments from his memory and the rest from dreams. In flashbacks, Priest Vallon prepares his son for what lies ahead. He tells him that Saint Michael will defend them in battle and protect them against the wickedness of the devil. He teaches his son about Saint Michael, who cast Satan out of heaven. In 1846, in Lower Manhattan's 5 Points, a war is about to begin between the natives, who were born in the United States, and the newly arrived Irish Catholic immigrants. The natives are led by Bill the Butcher Cutting, a proud Protestant who fights for the rights of those born in America. The Irish immigrants are led by Priest Vallon, the leader of the Dead Rabbits gang. In Paradise Square, young Amsterdam meets a boy named Johnny, who asks him about the upcoming battle. Amsterdam tells him that it's between the natives and the Dead Rabbits, and proudly says, "We are the Dead Rabbits." Before the fight begins, Priest Vallon asks Monk McGinn if he is with them or not. Monk asks for money and Vallon promises him $10 for each new notch. Hearing this, Monk smiles and says that he is now a dead rabbit. Then Monk opens the door, and the Dead Rabbits prepare to face their enemies. The natives, led by Bill the Butcher, enter and mock the Dead Rabbits. Priest Vallon faces Bill and says that this war is between warriors, and he has brought only warriors. Bill argues that he and his men have the right to this land because they were born on it. Priest Vallon replies that these so-called natives have made life miserable for Irish Catholics and never gave them their rights. He declares that now they will fight for those rights. Both gangs charge into battle. The fight is brutal and bloody, with both sides losing many men. In the end, Bill the Butcher kills Priest Vallon. As young Amsterdam watches in shock, Bill grabs Vallon by the collar and shouts to everyone to look at who is under his knife. He then declares the Dead Rabbits outlawed. Amsterdam runs to his injured father, who tells him never to look away. Meanwhile, Bill the Butcher shows false sympathy, but Priest Vallon tells him to finish it. Bill follows his words and kills Vallon in front of Amsterdam, who cries helplessly. Bill then places the knife beside Vallon's body and says that he might need it to cross the river. Bill orders Vallon's body to be buried with honor. Monk checks Vallon's pockets to get the money he was promised and gives condolences to Amsterdam. Bill tells his men to hand the boy to the law so that he may get a good education. Amsterdam grabs the knife used to kill his father, runs away, and buries it. He is later found and taken to the orphanage at Hellgate House of Reform. Bill declares that Priest Vallon died a noble death, but his gang, the Dead Rabbits, is finished and forbidden. No one is allowed to speak his name again. Priest Vallon is buried, and his name fades away. 16 years later, in September 1862, a grown-up Amsterdam Vallon is released from Hellgate House of Reform. New York City looks very different now. People are celebrating because slavery has been abolished, and the city is full of excitement and change. Amsterdam observes that New York doesn't even look like a city anymore. Bill the Butcher Cutting has now become a famous and powerful man in New York. While watching a political event, Bill tells someone that he should have chosen a better man against President Lincoln when he had the chance. He and his people are still against immigrants and fight openly with black people. As Amsterdam returns to New York, he is handed a Tammany Hall voting card. A voice says that New York loved William Tweed, but some hated him too. Tweed, a political leader, tries to keep everyone under his control. William Tweed politely greets Bill the Butcher and offers a handshake. But Bill refuses and mocks the Irish. The voice explains that 5 Points is now known as Murderer's Alley. Tweed and Bill have a tense conversation. Tweed tells Bill that he knows him well because Bill both helps and insults every person who arrives in the city. Bill replies that if he could, he would shoot every immigrant before they step onto American soil. Meanwhile, Amsterdam Vallon returns to the place where he once lived with his father. He digs up the knife that Bill the Butcher used to kill his father. Holding the blade, he remembers his father's words about Saint Michael, who protects them in battle against the snares and wickedness of the devil. At the same time, William Tweed tries to convince Bill the Butcher about the importance of political power. He tells him that joining forces with politics, especially with the Tammany family, can help improve the city's condition. Later, Amsterdam cleans his locket and tries to pray. Suddenly, someone grabs him from behind and demands to know who he is. Two men start checking his pockets and a fight breaks out between them. Amsterdam quickly overpowers both Johnny Sirocco and Jimmy. When Jimmy sees the locket in Amsterdam's hand, Johnny recognizes him. He looks shocked and says, "You're the priest's son, aren't you?" Amsterdam gets annoyed and tells Johnny to go away, but Johnny insists, reminding him that he was the one who helped Amsterdam when the natives caught him. He says he thought Amsterdam had been killed back then. Hearing this, Amsterdam feels relieved to see his old friend again and tells Johnny that they locked him away for years. After reuniting with his old friend Johnny, Amsterdam asked him about the gangs currently ruling New York. Johnny told him that there were the Daybreak Boys and the Swamp Angels who worked the river, robbing ships and cargo. Then he mentioned the Frog Haulers, who kidnapped sailors down by the bay. He also told Amsterdam about Hellcat Maggie, a woman who once tried to open her own tavern but ended up drinking all her liquor and got thrown out onto the street. Johnny continued listing more gangs. The Plug Uglies, who came from the old country, spoke their own strange language and loved to fight with the police. Then there were the Nightwalkers and the Rat Pickers, who worked the alleys and were known to murder with their bare hands. Johnny laughed while saying that the Slaughterhouses and the Broadway Twisters were a fine bunch of Bengal boys. Amsterdam soon realized that the so-called true Americans proudly called themselves gangs, but most of them only stood on street corners, cursing England all day. Curious, Amsterdam asked Johnny about the Dead Rabbits. Johnny immediately grew nervous and warned him not to say that name again. He said that the name of the Dead Rabbits was forbidden now. It had died along with Priest Vallon, the gang's former leader. Amsterdam then asked Johnny about the time he was in the blockhouse, saying that he heard the natives celebrate their victory every year. Johnny confirmed that it was true, and even told Amsterdam that Bill the Butcher himself wanted to invite him to the celebration. As they walked through the streets, Johnny accidentally bumped into a beautiful young woman named Jenny Everdeen. They exchanged a few casual words and Amsterdam found her interesting right away. Johnny told him that she was quite the stargazer, but Amsterdam, feeling suspicious, told Johnny to check his pockets because he believed Jenny had stolen his timepiece. Johnny just smiled and said that he let her take his things all the time because he liked her. Later, during a fire incident, Amsterdam saved Johnny's life. In the middle of the chaos, Bill the Butcher Cutting noticed Amsterdam for the first time. Afterward, Johnny introduced Amsterdam to his group of friends. Amsterdam soon discovered how their system worked. They stole things, handed them to fences to sell, and then divided the money equally among themselves. Johnny took their share to the natives as tribute. They mocked Amsterdam playfully for being new. Soon after, Happy Jack Mulroney entered the scene, and Amsterdam recognized several of his father's old loyal men. But now they were under Bill's control. Happy Jack had become a corrupt constable, and McGloin, once part of the Dead Rabbits, was now one of Bill's lieutenants. Amsterdam also noticed a painting of his father that Bill kept in his place, a tribute to the man he killed. During a card game, Bill stabbed a man named Harvey in the hand without hesitation, showing his cruelty. Then he turned to Johnny, gave him a task, and asked Amsterdam for his name. Amsterdam told him but carefully left out his surname. Bill warned him never to come empty-handed again, and told Johnny to take Amsterdam along on a boat ride, saying that maybe Amsterdam might save Johnny's life again. During the boat trip, Johnny confessed that he never liked the harbor after dark. Every night, he said, they brought in the bodies of soldiers, so many that countless mothers never even found out where their sons had fallen. Johnny told Amsterdam he had lost his eldest son in Antietam, calling it a mournful sight. When they arrived at their destination, Johnny and his crew discovered that the goods they came for had already been taken by the Daybreak Boys, another gang in New York. Realizing the danger, Amsterdam quickly told Jimmy to get down. Just as someone tried to shoot, the attacker was stabbed instead, and Amsterdam and the others escaped as fast as they could. Their actions caught Bill the Butcher's attention. Bill told Amsterdam that he had grown up much the same way, poor, alone, and fighting for survival, but now he had risen to power. Impressed, Bill began to trust Amsterdam. Amsterdam gradually worked his way into Bill's inner circle, pretending to admire him while secretly planning revenge. He learned that every year, on February 16th, the anniversary of the 5 Points battle, Bill led a citywide celebration honoring his victory over the Dead Rabbits. Amsterdam decided that this would be the perfect moment to kill Bill, to take revenge in public, in the same square where his father had died. Meanwhile, Amsterdam kept crossing paths with Jenny Everdeen, who turned out to be a skilled pickpocket and con artist. At first, he tried to avoid her, afraid she'd rob him again, but no matter how careful he was, Jenny still managed to steal from him. Frustrated, he chased her and saw her charmingly robbing others in the crowd. Slowly, he began to fall for her. Jenny lived a double life, dressing as a housemaid and working in wealthy homes, using her beauty and wit to deceive people. Eventually, Amsterdam got his medal back from her. They walked together for a while, talking about life, and Amsterdam felt drawn to her. But when Jenny revealed that she had once had a close and special relationship with Bill the Butcher, Amsterdam grew angry and walked away. His feelings for her cooled, knowing she had been part of Bill's world. One day, Amsterdam watched Bill cutting up a pig carcass. Bill invited him to help. At first, Amsterdam hesitated, but when he saw the picture of his father hanging on the wall, showing how Bill had defeated the dead rabbits, he felt a surge of anger. He took the knife and began cutting furiously, venting his rage on the animal's body. Johnny, watching all this, began to feel jealous. He didn't understand why Bill was giving Amsterdam so much attention. When Johnny confronted him, Amsterdam simply said that he had spent 16 years in Hellgate and was only trying to make his own way in the world, just like Johnny once did. Over time, Amsterdam became involved with boss William Tweed, the powerful head of Tammany Hall. Tweed and Bill worked together in a strange mix of politics and crime. Tweed told Bill that to maintain control, they needed to hang a few people as examples. 3 or 4 will do, he said. Soon, innocent men were hanged in public as thieves. Bill the Butcher continued to grow richer and more powerful. During a local sale, he even bought a locket from people who didn't want to sell it, raising the price himself until they had no choice. At the event, Jenny the Queen Everdeen rejects Johnny, who has liked her for a long time, and instead chooses Amsterdam Vallon. This leaves Johnny heartbroken. Jenny and Amsterdam dance together, and while dancing, Amsterdam asks her why she picked him. He also asks why she didn't choose Johnny. Jenny simply tells him that she doesn't want Johnny. Johnny walks outside in disappointment. While Amsterdam and Jenny continue to dance happily, Amsterdam starts to use his cleverness and confidence to impress both William Tweed and Bill the Butcher. His charm and quick thinking make him closer to both of them. During a performance of Uncle Tom's Cabin, an assassination attempt takes place. Amsterdam acts fast and stops it, but Bill gets wounded. For the first time, Amsterdam realizes that he saved Bill not because of his plan for revenge, but out of a real sense of loyalty and respect. Later, Amsterdam pretends to celebrate with Bill as if nothing happened. That night, Jenny comes to nurse Bill's wounds. She tends to him gently, showing real affection. When Amsterdam wakes up and sees Jenny being close to Bill, he feels hurt and upset. Still, sometime later, Amsterdam confronts Jenny about her closeness with Bill. Their argument turns heated, but soon dissolves into passionate lovemaking. However, Johnny witnesses everything, leaving him crushed and jealous. Late that same night, Amsterdam wakes to find Bill the Butcher sitting beside his bed in a rocking chair, draped in a torn American flag. Bill begins speaking calmly, saying that he is 47 years old and asks Amsterdam if he knows how he has stayed alive all these years. He then speaks about Priest Vallon, saying he was the last enemy who ever truly earned his respect. Bill tells Amsterdam that Priest Vallon once defeated him in battle, but chose to let him live in shame instead of killing him. That act, Bill says, gave him the strength to rebuild himself and fight for his own authority. He confesses that he has come to see Amsterdam as the son he never had. The evening of the long-awaited ceremony finally arrives. During the celebrations, Johnny reveals Amsterdam's true identity and his plan to kill Bill. During a knife-throwing act with Jenny as part of the show, Bill taunts Amsterdam. He throws a knife that lightly cuts Jenny's throat, provoking him. Furious, Amsterdam throws a knife at Bill, but Bill blocks it and immediately throws one back, hitting Amsterdam in the stomach. Bill then beats him brutally as the crowd cheers. Bill announces that he will let Amsterdam live, calling him a freak, worthy of Barnum's Museum of Wonders. Later, while hiding from the public, Jenny nurses Amsterdam back to health. She begs him to leave New York and forget his revenge. During this time, they are visited by Monk McGinn, who had once fought for Priest Vallon in the Battle of the 5 Points. Monk gives Amsterdam a straight razor that once belonged to his father. Soon after, Amsterdam makes a public move. He places a dead rabbit on a fence in Paradise Square. The symbol spreads fast and the message reaches Bill. Realizing who it came from, Bill sends Happy Jack to find out who dared to resurrect the dead rabbits. Amsterdam ambushes Jack in the catacombs, strangles him, and hangs his body in the same square where the rabbit was placed, a message of war. In retaliation, Bill captures Johnny, beats him nearly to death, and kills him by running an iron pike through his body. Later, when McGloin goes to pray in a Catholic church, he sees Jimmy Spoils, one of Amsterdam's friends, who is black. McGloin objects to him entering the church, causing a fight. Amsterdam and his friends respond by beating McGloin brutally. Soon after, the nativists march to the Catholic church in anger, while the Irish gather at the steps to defend it. Bill stands across from them and promises to return when they are ready to face him. At the same time, Boss Tweed approaches Amsterdam with a political plan to defeat Bill. He offers to support Monk McGinn as a candidate for sheriff in exchange for the Irish vote. Amsterdam agrees. On election day, both sides manipulate votes. Bill and Amsterdam drag people to the polls, some voting multiple times. By the end, Monk McGinn wins with more votes than there are voters. Bill visits Monk to confront him. When Monk refuses to fight and says they should settle things democratically, Bill throws a meat cleaver into Monk's back, killing him with his own shillelagh. At Monk's funeral, Amsterdam challenges Bill to a final fight. According to the old Irish tradition, Bill accepts the challenge without hesitation. Soon after, the New York City draft riots break out. Angry mobs attack the rich and African Americans throughout the city. The chaos spreads everywhere as Union soldiers enter to stop the violence. At the same time, Bill and Amsterdam gather their men for their final confrontation. As the two gangs face each other in Paradise Square, explosions suddenly shake the ground. Cannon shells from naval ships in the harbor rain down directly on them, killing many. Smoke and dust fill the air as Union soldiers fire into the square. McGloin is among those killed. In the middle of the destruction, Amsterdam and Bill face each other and begin to fight. They exchange fierce blows while the city burns around them. A sudden blast throws both men to the ground. When the smoke clears, Bill is mortally wounded, a piece of shrapnel lodged in his body. Struggling to breathe, Bill looks at Amsterdam and says, "Thank God I die a true American." Amsterdam, with tears in his eyes, stabs Bill to end his suffering. Bill dies with his hand still locked in Amsterdam's. Later, Bill the Butcher is buried in Brooklyn, beside Priest Vallon's grave, overlooking the smoke-filled skyline of Manhattan. Amsterdam's voice narrates that New York will be rebuilt, but men like them will be forgotten, as if we were never here. The film ends with a view of modern New York City rising from the past, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Empire State Building, and finally the Twin Towers, as the old graves of Bill and Priest Vallon slowly fade into time. And to not let your entertainment fade into time, I recommend you click on my recaps on the right. To return for future uploads, I suggest you subscribe. Grab your popcorn, enjoy yourself, and see you soon.